Exactly, exactly.
They prescribe it for.
And so why does it have to be bad, right? I mean, and there's a lot of skeptics, and you know, I'm not going to read all the quotes. You guys can see that online. But some of the pieces around this is, you know, what are the financial models? I mean, Ruth Given put a report together. It's on THCB back in November. An excellent report around it. And what are the models? What are the financial models around it? How does it benefit the doctors? How does it benefit the patients? We broached the topic at the Health Camp Philadelphia in March 28th. There's a lot of, you know, tweets about it. One piece that Ed Bennett pointed out, well, rating docs is not new. Word of mouth has always been important, right? So there's skeptics and there's challenges. One of the biggest challenges is the statistically insufficient sampling size. And as an example, you know, site A may have a bad doctor review that will actually put some pressure on that doctor, and then 17 other sites will have 17 good reviews. So how do you gather that data together to make it statistically valid? There's also no uniform representation of ratings. Every rating site is different. There may be some questions that are in common, but what does that 5-star really mean? Kind of briefly touched on the sparsity of the data, missing data, contradicting feedback from the patients. And then the price of wrong information is very high, right? It's for both providers, and I think that's why Jeff Siegel is forming these waivers for the doctor side, because, you know, the docs may not like the bad reviews.
There are also some scams out there, so there are sites set up so that when you put in the doctor's name, it comes out with a really bad rating, and the only way for the doctor to make it go away, in theory, is to send money to the site. So I think
it's horrendous.
those are the kinds of things that have the doctors very upset about this.
And actually, I don't have a clinical background personally, but if I was a doctor, I don't want to be reviewed or rated.
You know, I am a physician, and I get reviewed regularly online at Carlson Foundation, and I think the physician's role is just get out there, and if the patients would like to review you, and flood the internet with what you want to be seen, what you want to be seen about you. So if that can be done in an organized way, that's great, but I'm not certain how to incentivize people to enter information into a structure.
We'll touch on that, so we don't have that great review, but you actually, Eric, provided a lot of the concepts around the cloud versus peer, so we'll touch on that a little bit. There's, I think, positives that you mentioned, right? You get the feedback from the patients, and then reviews help patients make decisions. Now, the problem is today, they go to the 30 sites to figure out if the doctor is good or not. They'll go to Health World Web, they'll go to Vitals, they'll go to Health Grades, etc. And just very few data points. I didn't want to take up, you know, not an eye chart here. 30-plus rating websites. 29% of internet users have looked online for doctor at a hospital. And we talked about the sparsity and the scarcity problem. RateMDs, as of August 2008, got 98,000 reviews. Vitals, 100,000 plus advertising. Health Grades, 600,000. If you think about even 2 to 3 per doctor, per physician, it's not statistically significant. And, you know, overall, you need greater than 2.4 million just to get to the 2 or 3. So I think pooling together, and again, back to the divide and conquer, I think in this space, we can't do it in a sharded way. And I think benefits, right? So the cloud of reviews or the peer-to-peer model, we kind of named it cloud as an Amazon, but the peer-to-peer model will work as well and can work with you know, the folks that hopefully will join us. For the patients, some of the benefits, more reviews, as we talked about it, more reviewed doctors. For doctors, as you mentioned, right, input into solution, if you guys can provide us some feedback and join us to actually formulate some of these, that would help. And it would present statistically consistent feedback. And for participating companies, so I'll actually let Dan talk to that and introduce some of the next players.
Yes, hello everyone. So the idea here is